In my head, I was so shy. Again, I couldn't speak. I couldn't order off a menu. I was so nervous to mess up. I was so afraid to be myself.
Growing up with learning disabilities and speech delays, she spent years feeling like she was different, like she wasn't capable of achieving anything extraordinary. But deep down, she knew she was meant for more.
With my learning delay, with my speech delay, it does hinder me a little bit, and that was one of the things I had to overcome to meet my goals and to inspire others to be the change that they want to see in the world.
From winning runway awards to walking countless fashion shows to gaining the titles of Miss Globe and Miss Intercontinental and representing the United States internationally.
I went to Miss Globe. It was an international pageant, and I went in there and made top 16. I was Miss Runway. So when I represented my country, it changed a lot. It changed my view. It changed my...
Now, Brooke Cohee is preparing for her next pageant journey, where she hopes to use her voice to inspire children with learning disabilities. This is a story of a girl who once felt invisible and learned how to shine in the world stage.
Through my journey with the Miss Globe and the Miss Intercontinental, this is really meaningful for me because I started my modeling, I didn't have a voice. My work was through my walk. So with my runway walk,
I always do that.
that's why they do that?
I guess so.
And then now
What do they never do?
everything is all synced. Because everything's recorded individually.
Is that the movies? Like, that's why they do it?
Yeah, the little clapboard. Because that one's recorded individually. This one's recorded individually. This one, and then all the cameras. So
That's what you need. You need the little...
yeah, I know I should get a little clipboard.
But you can get on.
That'll
okay.
be on the Amazon list for our
yep.
for our event. All right. Welcome back to another episode of Hot Shots. Today we have the amazing Brooke Cohee here joining us.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you guys?
We're doing good.
Doing
Thank you for
so
joining
good.
us.
Thank you for having me.
So excited.
Yes. So, I mean, wow, I took a look at your Instagram when we messaged you to see if you were fit, and I just loved everything that you were doing from pageantry to modeling, and I saw that you were doing it for a long time. So, just to kind of start off, like your story, how you started into modeling, or if you got into pageantry, and then kind of building off of that. So, how did you start it from there?
So I started modeling when I was probably around 13, if I can remember correctly. It was a long time ago. I remember my mom, she put me in modeling school. It was my mom and my grandma. And the reason why I got into modeling school was because I couldn't read off a menu.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
I was such a shy girl all through middle school, high school, and my mom's like, no, we're going to change this.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay.
So it wasn't even for modeling. But over time, I grew
It was like self-development.
yeah, I grew a love for it.
Wow.
Especially when I was younger. I didn't think this was going to happen. But you know that Victoria's Secret casting that's coming up?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to apply for it.
Yes,
I
as you
decided.
should. Do it.
I've always wanted to, and this was before modeling school. I remember sitting down and I was watching YouTube as a little kid, and there's a little Victoria's Secret casting that's happening. It was like videos of them. My dad walks in. He's like, "What are you watching?" I'm like, "Dad, I want to be one of those."
How old were you?
I love that.
So you
It
were
was
like
in
having
middle
these
school.
inspirations.
It
yeah.
was in middle school.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
know what the show was.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, "I don't want to see you in your undies."
Right, right.
So that's where it kind of started. And then I went to modeling school for just to grow, and I was such a tomboy. I didn't like tight clothes. I didn't like heels. I didn't like makeup. And I even said to my sisters, because
I was gonna say, do you have sisters
Oh,
or brothers?
yeah, I was
You
about to
have
ask.
I have
sisters?
3 sisters and 1
Okay.
brother.
Okay, okay.
Really?
And they're girly. They're very girly, and I was that tomboy that crocheted my own scarf for a belt.
Wow.
And I remember not liking tight clothes or anything with makeup. And I would call it, I don't want to look fake. That's what I said. And I grew a comfort of, what you call it? I grew a comfort with not perfecting, but when you Now this is the part where I'm losing.
I know what you're kind of going for, though. What you're trying
Where
to say.
you, when you put on makeup,
Mm-hmm.
it accentuates
Mm-hmm.
your looks,
Mm-hmm.
your cheekbones, your nose, your eyes, your mouth, and
Mm-hmm.
your overall self, and it brings yourself together,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. There's a specific word for it that I'm looking for.
Like accentuates? Is that
Yes.
the word? Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
If you can too, can you move the mic a little closer to you? You can grab
Yeah.
it from here and like push it towards you. Perfect. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Just so we can get the best audio.
Hopefully you could hear all that.
We
Yeah.
should, but a little closer is always better.
Okay, good.
Cool.
So that's how it all started. But pageantry, like I said, when I started my modeling, I didn't have a voice. My work was through my walk. My expression was through my walk.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started pageantry, I was actually going through something. I was going through a breakup. It was a really bad breakup. And I needed women in my life.
Yes.
So that in pageantry, you have women from around the world that you meet.
Mm-hmm.
So they were my sister queens.
Mm-hmm.
And it grew on to me. It grew into becoming and finding myself through the process.
That's awesome.
So talk to us a little bit about, I mean, you were so young, right? You're 13. You're going through this modeling school. Was this in Arizona?
It
Was
was
somewhere else?
It was in Arizona. It's called
Okay.
Barbizon.
Okay.
And usually, it's called Barbizon.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know anything about it. It didn't really get me to where I wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of stopped. I stopped going. And then I found myself through pageantry, but I also was finding modeling jobs through Arizona. And Arizona's really hard to find. It's really hard to find anything, any type of modeling work, especially with the fashion. Fashion is not, you don't see a lot of fashion in Arizona. You see it in New York. You see it in London. Not the type of fashion that I was really looking for.
Right.
But I found myself through it.
What was? Oh, you were gonna go.
No, you're going.
What was what was some of the first steps or like the first runway that you did, and how was that moment of your first time hitting the runway?
Oh my gosh, I remember. My first runway was with Alvin Moyer. He's a makeup artist. And I was on Instagram and I get this message. It was a weird message saying, it was the first thing he said. My name's Alvin. Would you like to be in our runway show, the 11th? It was a long time ago. And I'm like, this has to be a scam.
Yeah, I feel
Were you
that.
doing a lot of photo shoots and like posting on
I wasn't
Instagram?
doing any photo shoots.
Oh, okay. So you were like,
my
this is so
first
random.
Time
Right.
Okay.
stepping into the modeling world in Arizona.
Okay.
And he really launched my career from there. I had my
Wow.
first photo shoot with a photographer in Arizona. Well, I did have Barbizon. That was my modeling. That was my modeling school.
Right.
Which they set me up with a photographer. Just to get digitals, but it was when I worked with Alvin, it was an actual photo shoot. It was my first bikini photo shoot, which turned out phenomenal.
It's incredible.
It was probably still the #1 photo shoot I loved.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Okay. So going into that, how was your experience going into that photo shoot? Like, well, where's your mindset at? Like, I'm gonna kill it. Were you nervous? Were you excited? Like, talk to us about that.
So nervous.
Yeah.
I didn't expect anything, but I did go in there like a boss.
Right.
Because I had to, fake it till you make it.
Right.
Exactly. Okay.
And I remember it was my dad. My dad came with me. My mom didn't come.
Your dad didn't want you on the runway. Listen, there's a pattern here. He's like, listen, I love you,
He's
but
like, I'm gonna still support though.
he wanted to be there for you,
Yeah.
for sure.
He still came with
Yes,
though.
he's protecting
And
you.
usually my mom, she's the one that comes with me.
Okay.
She's been through my swim meets, my dad too, but my mom has always been there with my swim meets, my softball games, and my modeling. She's my pageant mom now.
Right.
She's my go-to where I'm like, hey mom, do we have anything going on January 1st?
Right. Like she's like your agent in a sense.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
But when I walked into that first photo shoot. It was outside. It was a pool.
Okay.
Bikinis, and I'm usually in swimsuits 24/7, especially
Right.
with swimming all the time.
In
I was
Arizona.
used to it. Arizona heat. You're,
Yeah.
You're in a
You're
bikini.
starting it in like February up until like
Literally.
October.
Exactly. And no, I kind of walked in there with confidence.
Good. Okay.
Nice.
And you had a great experience, obviously. The photos turned out really well.
It did.
Okay. And then that moved into, so talk to us about that when it comes to, he was a makeup artist, you mentioned, right?
Yes.
But he was putting on a runway show.
So Alvin is a makeup artist.
Yes.
He does do runway shows. I know he works with other people.
Okay.
Throughout Arizona. And you can actually find him on Instagram, Alvin Moyer, to something.
Yeah.
Alvin Moyer.
But you'll find him if you just type Alvin Moyer.
That's awesome. Okay. So how many people were in your first runway show or in your first fashion show? Like, talk to us about how that day went, how that experience went.
Yeah.
It was a good handful.
Okay.
It was for King's, I don't remember the name. I apologize. Yeah. It was for a club.
Okay.
Not the type of club you're thinking.
Okay.
But it was Lions Club. That's what I think it's called. And they were doing, I remember walking in not knowing what to expect. There was makeup artists in a room. There was dresses everywhere. It was in a hotel.
Okay.
Nice hotel, really nice. And I remember just going in there with, okay, I can do this. I can do this. There was a huge amount of people where it's like overwhelming.
Right.
But it was a decent amount where you're like, okay, it was a show.
Yeah, like this is real. How did you get to like your runway walk? Did you learn that while you were in modeling school, or is that something you learned as you were doing more and more shows? How was that for you?
So with my runway walk,
yeah, I mean, there's a lot that goes into your runway walk, because you said like you got a lot of it from like who you are from your walk. So how did you start your walk? Like, what was the first process?
It was terrible. It was so bad. I kid you not. I was walking with one arm. I did not know how to walk.
One arm, like you were just like.
Oh, I was just.
Or one hand in the pocket.
I was doing the robot.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So stiff, yeah.
But I was so nervous. That's why you're in front of so many people, a group of people. You're like, who are these people? They're staring at me. Hopefully I don't trip.
Right.
One thing a model doesn't want is to trip on stage in front of so many people.
Yeah, especially on that first one. So.
First one too. Yep.
Dang.
We didn't have any issues though. That was good.
Thank
Nice.
goodness.
That's awesome.
Okay, good. Okay, so you did your first runway show, and then after that, I know you mentioned that, you went through, something personally, went through a hard breakup, and that was kind of what catapulted you to go into pageantry, or was there something happening before then that made you want to as well?
Going back to Alvin, he's my makeup artist. He actually helped me introduced me to pageantry. He was very welcoming. He was like, you need to do pageants. You need to do this. He really wanted me to get into the pageant world. And I was like, Alvin, I don't know. I'm like, that's a lot, that's very upbeat. And usually for modeling, you're kind of, in a sense, you're a hanger for the clothing.
Right.
You don't really have, I wouldn't say a sense of being, but you're just, the clothing matters in a sense. Right. The clothing matters more. But in pageantry, you have a voice. You have, and actually in modeling, they're changing. It's changing a lot. You're advocating a lot more. You're finding a lot of models that are advocating for themselves and their culture and their countries. And with pageantry, it is the same thing. You do a lot with your platform, which not platform. A lot of people don't like the word platform. You advocate.
You're good.
So, can you repeat that question one more time?
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, how did you get into pageantry? I know you said that Alvin inspired you to get into it, and he's like, you need to get into it. So, like, what was your first experience getting into it? specifically?
To be honest, I was kind of thrown in there.
Okay.
I pushed myself into it because I was going through a breakup. I was like, I need to get away from this. I need to get away from because I'm from Surprise. I needed to get away from Arizona and just find myself. So I was thrown into I wasn't really thrown because I chose to.
Right. She was tossed in. She was catapulted in.
My decision. But I chose to go out of the country for the first time.
Okay.
First time out of the country. And usually you have stepping stones. You go through a state pageant, then you're competing for your country. And I was thrown into the top.
Oh, wow.
So I went to Miss Globe. So that was a huge thing. It was an international pageant. You usually start with the states.
That was your first one?
First one.
Wow.
Thrown into it, and I was like, we're just going to do it. And I went in there and made top 16.
Oh my gosh.
I was Miss Runway.
There you go. That's sick.
Wow.
Nice.
And I was so proud of that. I'm like, even though if I don't win, I'm still so proud to be here because I pushed myself out of the country for the first time, and I'm competing against other countries. This is incredible.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's how it all started. I remember it was Albania.
Wow.
I went to
Okay.
Albania. It was such a random.
They have pageants out there too?
That's wild.
That's insane.
And the Miss Globe, I loved it. We did so many things. We traveled, met many people. We were on our feet 24/7 in 5-inch heels.
Dang.
All day.
Yeah, and having to be your best and like looking your
off.
best all the time, at all times. Yeah, it's a lot.
I didn't even know that was a thing that you could do. I know, obviously you're going to educate us, but like, is there usually stepping stones to go into Miss Globe? Like, how did you just randomly get there?
So
Talk
I
to us
guess
about that.
Well, I was appointed the title.
Okay.
Yep, I was appointed the title by my director, and
Got you.
that's how it started. Other countries, though, they go through pageant systems, and you would start with your state, you would start with your city or something like that, and you would go from there.
Right.
But because I was appointed the title, it was kind of a lot more, I wouldn't say overwhelming, but there was a lot more pressure. You're representing your country.
Right.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I am all for my country. I love growing up when I did swimming. My mom, we've always wanted to go to the Olympics. It was my dream. It was my goal all through middle school. My favorite stroke was backstroke, if you guys want to know. But and that was my goal, to go to the Olympics. So I've always been a USA go get 'em girl.
Nice.
That makes sense.
So when I represented my country, it was very honoring, especially with pageantry, and it changed a lot. It changed my view. It changed my perspective on my whole being.
How old were you when you did this?
That was, I think I was 18.
Wow.
Dang.
So you're still a baby when you're doing all of this. You're representing your country, and you're going to Albania, and you're shaking hands and kissing babies. That's crazy. Wow.
So you said you won the best runway. What do you felt like was like, how did you feel you got that? What did you feel like your runway walk was different from everybody else's?
I got a compliment before everything. Throughout the process, when I was on stage, someone said, "You looked like you were floating on the stage." And what's funny is when I won the Miss Runway, I didn't expect to win anything. My first pageant, I was like, okay, we're in the learning process. We're not gonna try. Sure.
Right.
Yeah. So at this time, like you still hadn't had your walk yet, or by this time were you confident in your walk?
I was confident in my walk.
Okay.
I was really confident, but the pageant walk is completely different from your average runway walk. Runway walk, you're a lot more, I wouldn't say stiff, but you're more bold, you're very strong. But with pageant walk, you're gliding. You're supposed to add more personality.
Okay.
So how would you describe your runway walk? But let's go like pageantry. How would you describe your pageantry runway walk and then your runway walk, like modeling runway walk?
So going back to the floating, when someone said that to me, that they said I looked like I was floating, I got back to Arizona. I did my Phoenix Swim Week, and same thing. Someone complimented again,
Wow.
said, "You look like you're floating."
Yeah.
So that's how, I guess, that's what people say it looks like, and
Okay.
I think that's the best way to describe it. When I'm walking, I love to perform. That was my way of speaking. It was my performance. It was the way I entertain people. I love throwing my little tips, like little tricks in there, my spins, my anything I could do to get my personality out there, because I didn't have a voice. I was so shy to speak. I was in my little bubble. I couldn't get out of it. I was so nervous to mess up. I was so afraid to be myself. And it was something that I had overcome.
Wow.
Did you have a coach to help you out with that, or how did you overcome that?
So I did not have a coach. I didn't have a coach through the
Miss Globe?
No.
Really?
Wow.
Wow.
I taught myself. I did. And with my experience with Miss Arizona, with my experience in Arizona doing these small gigs, doing the runway walks, I believe that was where I got my courage from, where I practiced my walk. I would over and over till this day, like yesterday, I was practicing my walk yesterday for an hour. I'm nonstop practicing my walk, because there's always something I could do different. There's always something I can change to draw more attention and to my audience.
Okay.
It's so interesting because, like, what I'm about to say, most people don't even know about me, but I wanted to go to the Olympics too. But I was a running and track and field athlete. So I went to Australia when I was 15. I represented Arizona, all that kind of stuff, right? How do you feel like your experience being an athlete and having that mentality of wanting to be an Olympian and repetition and practice, and like, I feel like that's something you took and put into the way you treat modeling and the way you treat pageantry and runway now. How would you say being a athlete, whether, I mean, you're still an athlete of course, but being a competitive athlete, how do you feel like that has compared to all of the avenues you're currently doing?
It's so funny that you say that, because I still swim and I still play softball.
Okay.
I have a softball game right after this.
Dang, I love that. I love the contrast.
Right.
That's awesome.
But I usually, whenever I get you're standing in line, you're waiting for your turn to go. I would start doing my Michael Phelps arm. What he does is, like, he throws his arms around the back of him. And I usually do that to get the nerves. Any nerves I have before I get on the runway, that's my usual go-to.
Wow.
Really?
There's always something with, I would say, what would you call it? Modeling is a very competitive area.
Yeah.
It's very competitive. But I do my best to make it not. I always try to, because I feel like whenever you think it's competitive, you start getting nervous. You start getting those nerves that you don't need. And
Right.
I feel like that's where you compare yourself to.
That's when you start comparing yourself.
Yep.
And I really think that we need to start. I'm losing it. I'm forgetting this part. Sorry, guys.
You're good.
Repeat the question.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, like, how being an athlete has really molded you and compared you to how you treat everything you do now was the question, really. Like, how has being a past athlete really taken those habits and the routines and all that and applying it to all the things that you do currently in pageantry and modeling and runway?
This was a little tough one. I'm going to be honest with you, because I don't know if I'm trying to correlate my sports with my modeling. I'm trying to figure out what I do besides the Michael Phelps thing.
Yeah, that's definitely something.
You just take it serious,
Yep.
right? Like when
Yep.
you're doing something, you're like 100% on it. You're practicing, you're putting in the time, because that's what you were doing with sports, right? Like
Yep.
no one's
Oh, yeah.
making you do that. Like you're
no,
putting your own
you-
time in.
When I did my sports, I was in the pool 5 a.m.
Yep.
every
Dang.
morning. And it was
Yeah.
so exhausting. Then you would be on dry land. Dry land is just working out on land.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So a regular workout. Okay.
Regular workout. But with modeling, you have that practice. You do the same thing. You practice every day because
Repetition.
Yeah.
repetition is key. Repetition is key to success.
Absolutely.
So when you practice your runway walk, is it always in stilettos, or do you practice with different shoes, or like is different walks? How do you kind of practice your runway walk?
Always in heels. And funny thing you say, I have, if I can count, I have 20, I think I have 25 heels
Dang.
and at least 2 pairs of shoes.
I see. I'm the same way though. I don't have many normal shoes or normal clothes. That's not
I
surprising.
love my heels.
Yeah.
With shoes, I'm like, okay. But heels elevate your look.
It's true. It's true.
That's awesome. What would you say is just one of your best memories from one of your runway shows? Like, do you have one that like stands out compared to all the other ones?
Because how many runways have you done at this point?
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
I've lost track.
Okay.
I lost track. There's too many to count. But my memories are my failures.
Okay.
Because I make fun of them now. The amount of times I would fall, which I'm not saying I fall a lot, but when I fell, it just you would fall. You're like, wait, did that just happen?
Yeah.
Because you're so used to doing you're walking, and you're like,
Yeah.
you practice over and over, and then when that moment hits, you're like, that didn't happen. Did it?
Right.
But my favorite moments was usually my failures. Because that's what makes me me. I would usually look at them and be like, that happened.
Yeah.
Because I get to the point where I feel like I've leveled up so much where I'm like, where do I need to perfect myself even more? Like,
Right.
besides my interviews and learning to speak, communicate with others, and connecting with others, that's one thing I want to work on the most.
Okay. So when it comes to runway and a model that is very hypercritical of themselves, you know, like let's say if they've fallen or they're worried to fall, what advice would you give them? Because obviously you have a very positive and delightful view of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it wasn't always that way, but what advice would you give a new model that maybe is discouraged about something like that?
It could be very discouraging
Uh-huh.
right off the bat. Like if you fall, when I did my first fall, I was like, oh gosh, did everybody see that? Oh no, I hope my dress wasn't up.
Right.
It's nerve-wracking in front of so many people, but in the end, no one gives a crap.
Right.
Right.
They won't even remember. Simple as that. I mean, you're only gonna remember because that is something you're not used to.
Right.
That's why you use it as like a learning lesson.
Yeah.
So
Tip
it
and
makes
trick
sense.
though, scrape the heel. Scrape your heel with a key. If you have a
Okay.
slippery stage, scrape it with a key underneath, and you'll be fine.
Give it some grip.
Hairspray
That is actually a
works.
pretty
That's
good point right there.
interesting.
Hairspray
Okay.
does work, but I usually scrape the bottom of my heels with a key.
So, I mean, going back to that, like, let's say, because you said when you first started, that was one of your biggest fears was falling. Compared to now, like, you laugh about it. Like, how do you feel like just the way like you do modeling has changed since then? Like, kind of going to what Colleen's question was, what would you tell that person, or what would you tell yourself when you first started and you were nervous to fall or whatever? Like, what would you tell that person now?
I had to, for some reason, I just had it in the back of my head. Just do it.
No, seriously
Fall.
though.
Get it out of your system, right? So
Yeah,
it's not in your
yeah.
head anymore.
Can you repeat the question one more time?
Yeah. Just like how like your perception of modeling just is different now from that first time when you were so self-conscious about everything to today. Like, it's just all the stuff you've been through. Like, how do you feel it's just different? And then what advice would you tell someone who is in that spot?
you get to the point where you know what you like, especially with your walk, what you like with your makeup, with your hair, especially seeing yourself every day and going over practicing, looking at videos, seeing what you did wrong, seeing what you can improve on. What I encourage models to do is just that, to keep practicing, to keep looking over videos. And even though I kind of forgot your question again, sorry.
Okay, no, you're
No, I mean, yeah, you kind of already went through it from that first question with Colleen too. But yeah, because it's just a long process, you know, from when you first started, you were 18 up until how many runways do you think it took up until you were confident about your runway walk?
It's a long process. Yeah. But through experience, it's just experience.
Yeah.
When you start doing shows after show, you start acknowledging yourself more. You start seeing what you like and dislike. And sometimes it's good to compare. It is sometimes good to compare because in a good healthy way.
right.
Because you take these little tips and tricks. Like I used to watch Naomi Campbell. I used to love watching her walks, what she would do on stage, and I learned a lot of things from them.
Okay.
You take it as a learning perspective. You don't compare yourself. You don't want to do that because it's just unhealthy, and it starts bringing you down.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a really good point.
That makes sense. Yeah, you're just always learning off the next person. So then that way, like, you can see how you can implement that, not like copy it, but just like put that into what you're
Make
already
it
doing.
yours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So going into like the pageantry, you said you're going into Miss Arizona. Like, what do you feel is just the most important piece of that whole pageantry, the whole like journey you're going through with that? What is like the most important piece of it for you?
Through my journey with the Miss Globe and the Miss Intercontinental, this is really meaningful for me because I'm starting by my city and I'm working my way up.
Right.
I'm not just getting handed, here's your title. You know, you're already you're already in a way Miss USA, or like you're already representing USA. But I feel like I'm earning it. I'm earning it through these steps.
Right.
And I'm figuring out more what I like and what I need to improve on. And one of them is just simply the way I speak, the way I communicate to others. Because with my learning delay, with my speech delay, it does hinder me a little bit. But I've been overcoming it. And with my advocacy is to inspire kids with learning disabilities, because I grew up with learning disabilities, and that was one of the things I had to overcome to meet my goals and to inspire others to be the change that they want to see in the world.
Wow. So if you don't mind us asking, like, how long was that process where you were working through that? Like, well, I know you mentioned briefly, you know, something you shared with me earlier. I'd love for you to talk about that a little bit, what you had to learn in the interim, like, you know, just to inspire those that may be going through something similar.
Can you repeat that one more time? Sorry.
Yeah, like, I know when it comes to your speech delay and the things that you had to overcome, I know you mentioned, like, you temporarily had to, you mentioned sign language, and, like, you had to learn things, like, in order to continue forward. And so talk to us a little bit about that journey, you know, like when did that begin? You know, what did you do to overcome those things? You know, I'm sure you may have gone to like speech therapy or whatever. Talk to us about that if you don't mind.
I was in speech therapy for a long time, especially through middle school.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember in my head, I was so shy. I was way too shy.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't speak. I couldn't order off a menu. I can't even look at people. I would wear 2 hoodies during the summer just to close myself off. But part of me knew, like, I want to be someone. I want to inspire others. I didn't want to be in this little ball. I wanted to be open where I can connect with people. And that was my goal. I really didn't have, when I was in middle school, I didn't have friends. Besides, I met friends through my learning my classes,
Right.
I was pulled out in a separate class through middle school, and it made me feel a little like insecure. It made me feel like I'm not worthy to be with the bigger kids.
Like you felt different.
Which is valid,
It made me
yeah.
feel different,
Uh-huh.
and I thought I wasn't capable of doing anything. Like I thought
Wow.
I was gonna not get a job,
Wow.
and to be honest, I don't even have a job now. My modeling is my job.
Right.
My modeling, my pageantry. This is what I love to do, and I've been working on figuring out how to make this my everyday, even though it is my everyday. But it's really hard, especially in Arizona, to get paid for modeling. Simple as that. But with, again, going back to middle school, I was just so shy. I wasn't able to communicate. It made me feel left out. It made me feel left out. And then through high school, I also brought that I had an IEP all through middle school, all the way up to high school, and through college.
Wow.
I'm still in college. But in college, I forgot the name of it. They don't call it IEP. They have it like a. I have to double check on that. Don't quote me on this. It might be like a 504 or something, but.
Something like that. Yeah. It's paperwork.
Paperwork.
Yeah.
But I had it carried on to college, and it still sometimes makes me feel that way, but I have been overcoming it and making it into a positive change. Saying, no, this is just how I stand out.
Yep.
This is what makes me me. This is what makes me unique. It's because I've overcome these challenges. It's because I was pulled out of this class. I changed it to a good, positive thing instead of a negative thing, because we can dwell on things all day.
Preach. It's how you handle it. It's 100%.
Yeah, we can dwell on things every day, but it's not going to help us.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so true.
And then, I mean, you're using that now to kind of show how you, like, going into pageantry and using that as like your what do you call it, advocate or
advocacy, or
like, is that what you're using to like your personal story, like, this is me, like, now you're inspiring others to do that too through the pageant, right?
Yep.
Nice.
Through my advocacy and just inspiring kids with learning disabilities to just be the change that they want to be.
Wow. Yeah, I know. I was looking at your Instagram, and I feel like part of what you post and really talk about is like inspiring the youth.
And I try to keep I do my best to keep my Instagram colorful.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
It makes me happy. It makes me feel great, because it just brings good energy, good vibes to people. Whenever they go on my Instagram, that's the first thing I want them to see is just the colors that they see. Yeah.
That's amazing. So is that like with when you go through photo shoots, do you pick specific people you want to work with, or like specific projects, or do you kind of just work with anyone right now? How does that work?
At first, I was I need to get into one ASAP, you know, and I'm still like that. But I'm very selective with who I work with, because now I see my photos. I'm like, I like this. I don't like this.
Yeah.
You work with people that you're like, okay, I love your work, and then you have some people where you're like, okay, I do love your work, but I love theirs better. So you really start choosing. At first, you start, especially when I started modeling, it was just picking up scraps if I can, you know?
Right.
Anybody need a model?
Trying to get my foot into the door.
Yeah.
And now I have that free will where I'm like, I'm actually going to work with this person today.
Yeah. You've had the experience now. Like, you know what you want. So
it's true. You can be selective once you have that experience. And what advice would you give to a model that is in that experience where this is kind of a T question. Okay. I don't know, I get this feeling, I'm like, gotta say it. Because I just feel like these type of questions, like, no one's asking, and that's the whole point of this podcast. What advice would you give to a model, right, that has had a really great experience with a photographer, and they, like, love their work, and then they have another experience with a photographer, and they still like their work, like you said, but they just prefer the other photographer's work. And let's say that specific photographer, like, wants to work with you again. but you prefer the other one. Well, how do you approach a conversation with that photographer about, like, what do I prefer? Or do you just say, you know, how do you approach a
Like
conversation?
per project, like does it have to be a project?
Like, what do you do in that type of scenario?
That's a great question. Because when I do I've been modeling for 9 years now.
Wow.
So with experience, you kind of know, again, who you like, who you dislike.
Right.
That's fine. It's perfectly fine to have photos you don't dislike. It's
Right.
fine.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But with that, I would recommend, you know, to just have courage and be kind. Always be kind, because that's another human being, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Recognize that. That's another human being. And honestly, if it was me, I would work with both still.
Right.
I would work with both. And through Arizona, I've made connections where these people are my best friends. But some of them, I'm like, I love your photos still, but these are the photos I need for my portfolio right now.
That's a great way to approach
But I
it.
still work with them because I love them. They're amazing. But that's through my experience. And when
Makes
you
sense.
go through the process, when you meet people, when you start getting your foot in the door, it should come naturally to know how to talk to someone.
Right.
Yeah. So going back to that, actually, like you're saying you like want to do specific photo shoots like for your portfolio and stuff. Like, is it for like a certain show or something you're preparing for? Or is it just you think you need to start switching up the photos in your portfolio? When is it that you're like looking for a certain style for your portfolio? Like, what is that reason? Or you just kind of feel like it's time for a change?
For me, I love to change. I love doing something new, pushing myself, because I've never, like recently I had my feet up in the air where I'm like posing.
I love that.
And I wanted to do something new because there's the standard like headshot,
Right.
where you see them, and I noticed that my Instagram was having that a lot. I'm like, we need to do something new. We need to do something creative. I want to do something eye-capturing, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Someone that could be like, whoa, I want to do that. And that's what's been happening recently. I've been working with Alvin, and he's been getting calls nonstop because I've been working with him, and he's like, this person wants to do this. The same shoots now. I'm like, this is what I want to do. Inspire people to do the get out of their comfort zone.
Yeah.
Instead of doing this simple standard headshot, flat image, and approaching different ways.
Right.
My next one I want to do is a jumping shot.
Ooh.
Those are hard ones because it's hard to keep a straight face while jumping in the air.
I always do like a birthday photo shoot every year, and like 2 years ago, I went to a real waterfall, and I was like, I want to do like a mermaid shoot and do a waterfall shoot for my birthday.
Oh, wow.
But my goal was to jump off the waterfall and to do, hear me out, and to do like a jumping shot, right? So we get to the waterfall, and I have only flip-flops, which is dumb. And like, it was like a 4-mile hike to this waterfall. It was insane. And my photographer and my makeup artist were like, please don't do this. Like, first of all, I had this big dress on, so I could possibly have, I mean, I'm a good swimmer, probably not your level, but I was like, I probably could have sunk, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like deep, but everyone's looking at me like, don't do this. Like, you're going to slip and fall and crack your head open, and it's going to be a bad day. And I'm like, but I want a jumping shot. Like, you know, when you just want, like, something crazy, I feel you on that. I really wanted to do that jumping shot. But, you know, you need that specific camera, the quick, whatever it's called. You know what I'm talking about? Like, you may know what I'm talking about. I don't know what it's called. It's like a photography term. It's like a...
Oh yeah, burst shot. A burst shot.
Yeah.
Because one of those, it's like one of those has to hit. That's why the photographers do it. Like stuff like that, they do like 10 shots simultaneously in the same second because it's like one of those has to be good.
So what do you feel like is the importance of challenging yourself and, you know, thinking outside the box or doing things outside the box? What do you feel like is the importance of that as a model, as somebody that is working in so many different fields, like from that perspective?
Definitely getting out of your comfort zone, because you can be in front of the camera, you can keep your simple like headshot, but it's just you're not gonna get anywhere if you don't try something new.
Yep, exactly. That's so true.
And that's how I learned through the experience, by trying something new, looking different ways I can pose, what I like, what I dislike.
When do you feel like you switch up your model walk? Like, do you have different model walks for different styles of like clothing you're wearing?
Yep.
Because of course, like pageantry, it's a completely different walk than modeling. Like, how do you decide basically which type of walk to use in which scenario?
Depends on the outfit.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on the outfit. I mean, music does have a part of it. It can be a part of it.
Okay, yeah.
Slow music,
Walking
slow
to the music. Okay.
Right.
But you also can change it up. Like, if it's a wedding, if it's a long dress, you're gonna be a little bit more slower. You're gonna be a little bit more composed.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
But if I'm in like a rocking outfit, like a full metal black outfit, I'm gonna go hard in that outfit. I'm gonna own it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's fine. And then pageantry, like, how long did it take you to learn all those steps? Because you even have to like stand a certain way, like you have to stand with like the T, like the T thing. Yeah. So like, how has that process been of learning the pageantry, like the walking styles and all that?
It's been coming naturally.
Okay.
T-pose been coming naturally. You'd still have those development where you develop your own type of walk.
Mm-hmm.
Can you repeat it one more time?
Just like preparing like your pageantry walk, because it's completely different. Like going into that actually, because there's all the different sections for pageantry, from like walking out in your gown, walking out in swimsuit. Like, how do you kind of prepare for those walks for pageantry?
Okay. So there's certain ones like swimsuit, very upbeat, very fun. For evening gown, you have very slow, very, again, composed. I've been practicing just by myself lately in front of a camera.
You record all the time? Like, you're always recording your walk and then watching it over?
I'm always recording over and over to see what I need to improve on. Wow. Especially because I don't have a coach. I need to see myself. And I live in a small little casita room with a mirror. That's it. Just a mirror, got my phone on the side. And that's how I practice.
Makes sense. So you have a lot of videos saved of your walks on your phone?
To the point where I'm losing storage.
Because that's honestly the first time we've heard that someone recording their walk. Or I don't know if they haven't just said it, but I think you're the first one that says that's recorded every single walk.
Did you record yourself as an athlete?
Here and there.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I had to watch film as an athlete. So I wonder if that's where it comes from, is, you're watching yourself. It's so much better when you watch yourself because you don't really realize what you do until you watch it back. Sometimes you don't notice things.
Yes. My mom has always been recording me.
Okay.
But I've never really looked at my recordings.
Okay.
So I find that funny because I didn't look at my recordings for that.
Wow.
But now that I'm looking at pageantry, you kind of get you figure out your body, your body language. You figure out like what's being awkward, because you have those moments where you have that dangling arm, you don't even feel it.
Right. You don't feel it until you watch it back. You're like,
That's
you're like, what happened there?
No, seriously.
You're like, I'm doing that? Really?
No, it's serious.
And I have a broken arm, so this arm, well, not anymore. I've broken 13 bones.
What?
13 bones.
Swimming?
No, all right.
Okay, I was gonna say there's no way that can happen with swimming.
I was like,
I did.
She just
break
throws
one.
that at us. That's crazy. I put 13 bones. This one cool. Anyways, we'll move on. Like, what? What's going on?
That's besides the fact. Okay.
Anyways, continue on.
While I was doing a flip turn, I did break my heel, fracture.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was really weird, but I love the swings, so I broke my arm.
Okay,
the swings.
We need to talk about the broken bone thing. We really cannot go past this. You cannot breeze by this.
On a swing? Yeah.
What are we talking
What
about
is
here?
the story?
13. Can we talk about a little bit of these, because I'm fascinated with the amount of bones you broke.
So arms, it's been a minute because I haven't broken one in a long time.
You won't be. You won't be breaking bones ever again.
Yeah.
I've broken two separate ears on Easter.
I'm sorry?
On Easter?
So
How do you do this?
I know, right? It's
Yeah,
so
we
weird.
need to talk about
I was a stick. I broke everything. It was just random, and I don't know why. But I was always at the doctor's.
Okay.
But my bone, it like broke, and then this one was rollerblading. This one was on Easter, and I landed like this, and I got surgery for it.
Oh, wow.
So that one I remember very vividly. But the funny thing was I never felt them.
What?
Yeah, all the adrenaline probably.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
I didn't have feeling when I was growing up. My mom, I would be running down the street in like 100-something degree weather with bare feet.
Wow.
Holy.
That's
Yeah.
so interesting.
I really think I had some type of sensory issue because I just, again, with tight clothes, I couldn't wear socks.
Right,
I
you were
couldn't wear
saying
tight
that.
jeans.
Mm.
I really think that was linked to it.
That makes sense.
Interesting.
So you can't go anywhere on Easter, is what I'm getting out of this.
I'm in my bubble.
You
My
broke
mom
many
says.
bones on Easter, so we're okay. I guess we'll
like,
just move on from
stay home for
the 13
Easter.
bones broken. We'll move on from it, but I just can't
Easter
get back.
has passed. We're safe.
No,
yeah.
yeah, exactly.
That's
Easter has
hilarious.
passed this year, so we're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
So what about like the next runway you're looking forward to? Because like you said, you want to go out of the country, like Europe, because you have like honestly just the perfect like body shape, everything. Like you're tall,
She's
you're
a Victoria's
skinny.
Secret
Like you're
model.
like, what is one of your runway shows or like designer you really want to walk for?
I have so many. But the one right now that my goal that's current is the Miss. I want to be Miss Universe.
Yes.
That's my goal.
Speak it into it. I know
Right.
it's in your
That's
future.
my goal.
Hey, you starting it off with which one are you representing right now, Miss? For
So I'm Miss Surprise.
Miss Surprise,
Miss Surprise,
okay.
Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
And it's. Oh wait, I think I said that wrong. Miss Surprise USA.
Oh, got
There
you.
you go.
Okay.
Right.
And you work your way up.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I finally have the chance to showcase my skills, what I've been working toward, all my hard work, especially with my speaking. And it's just, I feel very passionate about this because I started in this little girl.
It's so inspiring how you started and how you were back in the day, being so shy. Like, if for people that are shy watching this and they're seeing you talk on a podcast, like I think that's what's so inspiring is like you only see the now. People only see the you now. That's what's so important about these stories is they don't really understand that you were so many versions of yourself to get to who you are
And
currently.
Yes. A lot of people see like all the good
Right.
all the time. You see it all online, but you never know what someone's actually going through.
Yeah.
And the process especially is just, but I'm very grateful and I'm very thankful, especially for my support. My support has been the reason why I'm here today.
Yep. Wow.
So
amazing.
going into Miss Arizona, when is it? When is like the actual show days?
So
Yeah, what's
June
next?
11th, 12th, and 13th.
Oh, so
Okay.
it's next month.
It's coming up.
Wow. How long have you guys been
Dang.
training for it now?
So I've been training by myself, but this year I've been having help.
Okay.
And I'm very grateful for this help because
At Korea, right? At Korea, like you guys are going there and
Yes.
doing all that.
but I've been getting like outside support help. So I've
okay.
been working with my pageant girls, my pageant friends. They've always been supporting me. One of them specifically,
Nice.
Lindsay, she's been helping me. Kay Johnson, she is.
Okay, she's
She
amazing.
was running for Miss Arizona a while back, and she won.
Yeah,
So she's just an amazing friend.
so nice.
So sweet, so
Very
kind, which
giving.
I definitely think you guys should interview her.
We honestly should. I need to hit her up for sure. Cause yeah, I met her when I was doing the Miss Arizona that last year, and she's so nice. She's so
got a
giving.
great
Like,
story.
yeah, she's so selfless. Like, she's great.
Do you have any other people in your family like you? Like, I always like to ask this question because I don't. And when I talk to people that have like their whole family's creatives, I'm like, oh, you don't understand how cool that is. Because when you're a lone ranger, it can be kind of tough. So I would love to hear like, what is your family like? Like, what do they do? Like, obviously they're so supportive, which is the most important. But are there any other people like you
I feel
in your
like
family?
they get annoyed.
Really? In what way? Like, what do your sisters do? Like, I would love to hear.
Oh
Are
my
you the
gosh.
baby? Like, what's the dynamic like?
So
Yeah.
I'm the middle child.
Okay, you're the middle child. Okay.
And I have my brother. He lives in Arizona. My sister, she lives in Korea right now.
Oh wow. Okay.
And my other two siblings, that I live with one, the
Okay.
youngest, and the other one.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
of those. She doesn't live with us, but she lives near us.
Okay.
We're very tight, very close. And I mean, when I practice with them, they're like, I mean, it's a little embarrassing, you know.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I am, you know, you have those moments. But they're still supportive, you can tell. But
that's good.
I've been wanting to get them into modeling, but they don't want to. That's not their type of thing. They have their own thing where like restaurant, they work at the restaurants. Or
That's cool.
They do lifeguarding. They have their own life going right now.
Of course,
Their own things, and I don't know how,
Everybody has a calling, like you just knew kind of where your direction was going, and they kind of did too. So everybody has a different calling.
Yeah, one person I think I relate to the most is my aunt Wendy.
Okay.
I was always called her Mini Me.
That's so cute. Yeah. Okay.
I think we look like each other the most. And she actually started modeling, and another reason why I started modeling was because of her.
Wow. Okay.
She modeled.
Wow.
And I'm like, in a way, I really looked at that. I'm like, I want to model. So that was another reason why I started. That pushed me towards this
had
direction.
that kind of that experience to talk to you about. That's awesome. That's really cool.
Nice. Yeah, no, and it's gonna be super exciting to see kind of the whole family there, like on the show days and having all that support like during the shows. So
we'll see if siblings will go, because when I did my first pageant, which I completely forgot, National American Miss, that was my first pageant.
Okay.
You just go big or go home.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting out of it. That's your vibe. That's literally your vibe. That's what you are about.
Literally, go big or go home. Yeah, that's the phrase.
Literally.
I started one of my first pageants, which I completely forgot about. National American Miss, and I was this kind of, again, shy, very tomboy going into this pageant where I'm like, okay, and I remember getting on stage. I had my sister, I think my other sister was there, and my dad and my mom. And I was very into softball, you know. I was a softball girl. I wasn't into girly things. And then, but I was still wanting to explore that part of me. So
oh my gosh.
I get on stage, and we have the on-stage question. They're like, tell us about yourself. Simple. Easy. I'm like, I know myself. I love seafood. My name is Brooke Cohee. And I had a huge voice crack.
Oh, no.
Huge.
When you said your name?
Like when I said my name. And I hit myself. I hit myself like this. Sorry. Puberty.
In that tone too.
That's so funny.
My mom walked out.
She walked out. Oh
You hear
no.
my dad and my sister
Puberty.
laughing. So that's where I'm like, you know what? Maybe pageantry isn't for me.
But it's the personality though. Like I feel like in that arena, like you have to have a unique personality. Like people love you for you. Like it's very focused on individualism and like people being able to relate to you and like you working with the community. So I think it's silly, it's goofy, but like that's a part of like who you are. So that's the whole point, right?
I was still looking for myself. You know, I was still trying to find my meaning, my purpose of being there. And it was
did the judge laugh?
I don't remember.
I think that's all that matters in this situation. Did anyone laugh?
I'm sure it was dead silence if I could hear my family in the back.
There's just one thing. It just drops.
Right.
Just like
One of those, like crickets.
That's so funny
It kept
though.
going. It was so funny. I was embarrassed.
Right. That's okay.
But yeah, that was a part of me as well. I still remember that.
That is hilarious.
I look back, I'm like, that's where I started.
Yeah.
This is me now.
Yeah. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. But I mean, so just kind of wrapping up, like other than Miss Arizona, is there anything else that you're looking forward to this year?
Improving. I think just continuing to find myself. I'm excited to really take on this title and really embrace it. Because when I started, it was rough. I didn't have the support I needed But now I'm going into this competition with a lot more confidence than where I was before.
Yeah. And yeah, no, definitely after hearing your story, like it's your time, you know?
Yes,
It's my time.
Yeah, so now I'm looking forward to seeing how it all goes. So no, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast. How can
Thank you
people
so
find you? How can
much.
people go on?
Thank you.
You have Instagram, TikTok. How can they search you up?
You can find me on Instagram and Facebook. It's just Brooke Cohee, Cohee.
That's awesome. Well,
Thank
thank
you
you
for
again,
having
Brooke. This
me.
was amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you guys so much for being a part today. Of course, check, subscribe, and like, and for more videos.
But thank you guys for watching. If you guys want to check out more, click this QR code right here. And thank you so much to Brooke for joining us on the podcast today.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys on the next podcast episode.